morning, friends. It's August the 13th, 2012. Today is round 2P2 day 23 for me. I haven't checked in for about 3 or 4 days. Last time I checked in was VLCD 19 and I was 133.6. On day 20, I was 133.8. On day 21, I was 133. On day 22, I was 132.8, which was yesterday, and today I am 132.6. So since the last time I checked in, I'm down a pound for a total loss of 10.4. So again, when I find myself getting bored with my weight not moving at a fast pace, you're gonna find me here doing a cooking vlog. So that's what I'm doing this morning. I got together what I would do if I was making soup. The soup stock is in a vlog along with the chicken that I pre-make and keep both of those in the freezer. I think that is vlog number 15 and 15.2, and I go about showing you how I make the stock, the whole entire process all the way into the freezer, and how I store the chicken. And so the stock is either stored in these 2-cup, they're either Glad or Ziploc containers in the freezer. They pop right out. So this is a frozen serving, obviously. And how I tend to store them is in a very large freezer Ziploc bag. So here's 4 in a bag, and I just keep these in a freezer and pull them out as needed. So typically I pull them out the night before for my lunch the following day, but sometimes that doesn't happen. That did not happen yesterday because I was too busy watching the Olympics. So this morning I pulled one out of the freezer, and if I was just going to eat it for the day, I would put it in a bowl and just let it sit out, or put it in the refrigerator and let it sit in the bowl. Since I'm traveling today, I am going to put it in my travel container, which is just another Gladware disposable container. And so it's going to sit in here all the way until lunch. At lunchtime, I am going to defrost it in the microwave. If I was at home, and for those of you that are leery of using the microwave, you could cook it on the stove and cook it very low. You're not trying to cook it, you're just trying to defrost it, so it's on a very low setting. And after it is in liquid form and hot, at that point I would add 1 cup of asparagus. So that's about 5 stalks, depending on the size of asparagus, can come slim or very fat. You could also use broccoli. Broccoli is not on the protocol, but I've used both depending on what's in the refrigerator, what's on sale. Sometimes asparagus can be expensive. I prefer asparagus. I think I have better releases when I use asparagus instead of broccoli. And I just like the way it tastes. It's still kind of crunchy. I don't really cook it. I just, once the broth is at the boiling point, I will toss the asparagus in and let it just kind of parboil that way, so it's crisp, tender. Since I am traveling today, what I've done is put it in my Ziploc, another disposable container, and it will go with me to work. The other item that adds to the soup is my frozen chicken. So again, this is in vlog 15.2. I cooked chicken in order to render stock and then froze the chicken. This is 100 grams of chicken that I'll add to the soup. It's frozen. It's a mixture of light and dark meat, and it will defrost throughout the day, and then I'll add it to the soup. If it's not defrosted, you can microwave it a little bit, or you can just toss it into the soup once the broth has defrosted, and it will then defrost very quickly and then be incorporated into the soup. My chicken is mixed. This is light and dark meat. The protocol calls for only light meat but I like the dark meat also. And so I also did not measure the chicken, obviously, before it was cooked. I measured it after it was cooked, and I've done that in both my rounds. It's just the way I did it. So I know it's not exactly pop, but that's how I did it. So this is frozen because I didn't pull it out. I don't pack an ice pack because obviously both items being frozen will slowly defrost by the time I get to work. And typically I will shake in some spices also because it's a bland soup, and I like a high amount of flavor. So this is my favorite seasoning. It's Spike Hot and Spicy. Here's another one that I use. And there is a curry that could be used. So I just shake that in on top of the frozen stock so that I don't have to pack the spices going to work. And any one of those is P2 friendly. A lot of people ask me where I get my spices, or you just have to read the label on the back, and each of these has kick to them, and that's what I'm looking for, is that spicy kick to add. One last thing, I haven't done this as much this round, I think only once so far. I did do it more in the last round when I was missing pasta noodles. This is tofu shirataki. Well, some people do use these noodles. This bag is a 8-ounce bag, and it serves 2. And let's see, gluten-free, no sugar. It has 0.5 grams of fat, 3 carbs, 2 of those being fiber, 0 sugars, and 1 protein. And the way that I use these is I take the whole bag over a strainer and I just cut the bag in half, and I store the one bag back in the refrigerator. These have to be refrigerated. And then I take the other half and I rinse them for a couple of minutes. They have a very foul odor to them. It's funny because on the bag I was reading, they called it authentic, I think, the authentic odor. The directions, they called it authentic aroma. The directions are: drain and rinse thoroughly, parboil for 2 to 3 minutes to reduce authentic aroma, and then dry very well, and then use as you would regular cooked noodles. So on a day that you're feeling a little more hungry or feeling like you need noodles in your soup, you could add these also. And so once I take them, I rinse them really well. I actually just let them sit in hot water for a couple of minutes, and then I rinse them again and add them to my soup. And so, proceed with caution. Again, not on the protocol. A lot of people can use these and not have any trouble the following morning. And it typically on a day where you're feeling hungrier and the need for something a little more than just broth chicken and asparagus. Again, I don't use them as much in this round, also because the weather is warmer. Possibly in the winter when you're looking for something a little more comforting, this would be a good option. There's also Miracle Noodles, which have even less carbs. No, it's 0 everything. There's 0 carbs, 0 fiber, 0 sugar, 0 protein. And those I think you have to special order, or sometimes you can find them at a health food store. They have a less noodle-like texture. They're still a noodle and taste more kind of a rubbery, kind of like a glass noodle, an oriental glass noodle. The ingredients: water, tofu, soybeans, calcium sulfate, gluconodelta-lactone, yam flour, calcium hydroxide. So quite a few chemicals in there. Make the choice for yourself whether or not you want to use it. These noodles can be found in the produce section at your market, Usually they're where the tofu is set. So that is an option, another option for lunch, to have a to-go item ready in about 5 minutes. It's nice to be able to just walk out the door and have something that is going to keep well and satisfy you at lunchtime. So I will see everybody tomorrow. Hopefully I will not be standing here doing another cooking vlog, because that will mean that my weight dropped lower than my fabulous 0.2. All right, everybody, ciao. Have a great day, happy releases, and great stabilizations.